So in addition to my regular rules and expectations, things I expect of you generally to keep you out of trouble, I also have a system that promotes your good behavior. This is called the Titan Tally system, and this is the Titan Tally board where I keep track of the points you earn. Each day that you come in, I give you a certain number of points. It's 6 this quarter, so I give you those points as soon as you come in the door as my gift to you. However, I do take away points if you're breaking any of our rules. So for example, I'm going to tell you what the 3 rules are in just a second, but if I see someone breaking one of the rules, I would just walk over to it and erase one of the points. Now, these points at the end of the week are added up as minutes that you get to use, all of you get to use as a class, for Titan Tally time, which is free time on the computers, doing anything that you want to do on the computers that is appropriate for school and the tech department allows. But every time I see someone breaking a rule, I just go up and erase another one. Usually I announce what it is or sometimes who we could thank. So if you see someone breaking a rule or you hear someone breaking a rule, you don't want to scream across the room and yell at them, but you might want to politely hint or tell them, please do this so you can not lose one of our points. Please stop doing this so you cannot lose us a point. That way you can keep these points as high as possible, and at the end of the week you'll have the most free time. This is the only free time you get. It doesn't matter if you finish projects early. It does matter that you're following these rules that I'm about to talk about so that you can earn the most points. I'll usually at least announce that I'm taking a point off for something if I'm not able to get to the board because I'm helping a student. And when I do, or when I am able to get there, I'll go up there and correct it. So you do have the most accurate representation of your score up there as often as possible. And when you come in the next day, if you see that something's different, you could, of course, ask. Points can't be returned, by the way, but once you've earned them for the day, they don't come off. So at the end of the week, if, like, let's say the first day of the week you earned 4 points, but the rest of the week you did as bad as you can possibly do, you'll still have those 4 points. Obviously, you'd like to have more than 4 by the end of the week. So the way that you get these minutes is by following these simple rules. The first one, I basically need you to stay in your seats. If you're getting out of your seat, you should have asked me if you can get out of your seat first, even if it's for something as simple as throwing something away. Just like every other class, I really want you to stay seated unless you get my permission or unless there's some kind of emergency and you have to get my attention. But you should be raising your hand from your seat if you need a question. You should be raising your hand from your seat if you need help, and you should be raising your hand from your seat if you would like to go to the bathroom, the garbage can, or to talk to another student across the room. As long as I'm not in teaching time where I'm directing you as a class, 90% of the time I'll say yes if you ask me first from your seat. All right, the second rule is that I would like you obviously to be quiet, especially when I'm talking or teaching, or if another person is talking to the room, like in the beginning of class when I direct you. If someone has a question or if someone else is speaking, I want you to be quiet. Also, in general, there can be no yelling across the room ever. In the beginning, I let you sit by your friends as long as you earn those seats by behaving well, and I expect you to therefore talk quietly to your friends while you're working, not be talking to people across the room. So that's something that I keep as a rule, and another rule that if you break it, you lose a Titan Tally point. Lastly, this is kind of a two-part one. I want you to remain productive and positive at all times. So productive and positive is kind of a two-way thing. The first part is being productive, which means you're on task all the time. Sometimes when I tell you to use the Prezi, you should be navigating through the Prezi. If I tell you that you should be watching a video, then you should be watching that video. So it's really basically doing what you're supposed to do to promote the completion of your project. So sometimes it's searching for information using the resources I've given you in Prezi, and sometimes it's physically progressing on your actual artwork in Photoshop. So as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it, that's staying productive. I shouldn't see you on YouTube for more than a couple seconds when you're changing your music. I shouldn't see YouTube on your screen like in the corner and you're just sitting there watching it. YouTube should be off your screen. Your work should be continuously being worked on. I should see things moving around your page and you following my Bolger videos, that's the only YouTube videos that should be up, to complete your work. That's productive. For positive, basically that means that you want to keep yourself positive. I don't want to hear people saying, oh, this sucks, or I hate this, or I can't do this, or yours stinks, or why am I so terrible at this? Those are all negative things. So if you have a problem like that, you can say, how can I do this? Mr. Sear, can you help me do this? I need help doing this. Those are you being productive about your problems instead of just making negative noise, okay? Which is not problem solving. All right, so other than that, the only thing I wanted to mention was this is, I would say, like 95% of this is obviously a team effort. If one person does badly, then the rest of us are affected. So we're only as strong as our weakest link. If you see someone breaking a rule, ask that person politely to stop breaking the rule. Peer pressure is a great way so that we can all get the best reward. There are ways that you could affect yourself personally within the system. And here are the two ways. One is if you're constantly being a problem with the same type of problem over and over, and it's the same person over and over, I'll allow up to 2 points to come off the group's Titan tally, but after that, it kind of becomes unfair. So that's where I start giving detentions instead of removing points. Generally, it'll be a short detention, but if you don't show up, it's a write-up. So if I ask you to stop walking around the room, if I ask you to make sure to stay in your seat, if I ask you to stop calling out or being disruptive, and I've already asked you twice and taken away 2 points for that off the Titan tally, the next time I'm probably going to say, you know what, I've already taken off 2 points of the Titan tally today for you, and I want to make it fair for everybody, so instead now I'm taking away your time. You're going to come to me for this 10-minute detention. Depending on what the problem is, it might be more serious than that. The other way is by not being caught up with the current assignment. So if the vast majority is near the end of an assignment and a few kids are not, I might say everybody can start Titan tally time who is at least at this point in the assignment or who has the first assignment or second assignment complete at this time. So your own productivity could stop you, or your lack of productivity could stop you from getting your Titan tally time. You have to keep up with the majority of the people in the room. I usually am more than fair when I give those type of guidelines, though, because in reality, I want you to have this Titan tally time. I want you to earn it, but I want you to have it. So try and keep these rules in mind so we can have the most Titan tally time possible, because it's fun time for everyone, including me. I would like to have a few minutes off a day, too, so that I can have some fun or help people who may need extra help.